sparks fly and fires rage. The wind making this a firefighter's nightmare. At 190 kilometers an hour, wind gusts peel away entire walls, knock over trees, and cut the power to 1 million homes. And then the rain, up to 300 millimeters falling by the time day breaks. This is just the beginning of Rita's rage. Hello and thank you for joining us. Rita has roared ashore on the U.S. Gulf Coast. The hurricane slamming into Texas and Louisiana as a Category 3 storm early this morning. And though the damage isn't as bad as authorities feared it could be, Rita might not be done just yet. We have extensive coverage from the hurricane zone tonight. Global National anchor Kevin Newman is standing by in one of the worst hit areas, Lumberton, Texas. The community of Port Arthur also suffering a major hit. Our Troy Reeb is there. And in Houston tonight, Mike Edgell with the new challenge this storm is presenting. But first to Lumberton and Kevin Newman. Kevin.
Tara, Lumberton is one of the fastest growing communities in America, about 11,000 people moving into here in the last little while. But take a look at one of the streets in one of the newish suburbs. It doesn't even look like a street. The problem right now is it's blocked by all this debris, so you can see some of the workers there that are trying to clear the way because no one has been able to leave this community since Hurricane Rita struck with such force about 3 o'clock last night. You can get a sense of some of the houses there in the distance. Some structural damage, which we'll show you a little bit later, but just about everywhere in Lumberton, it is truly a disaster. In neighborhoods like this, anyone with a backhoe or a chainsaw is the most important person right now.
We're blocked all the way up to, we're trying to get access one way to a major artery, so we can just get the people, if we need an emergency vehicle, we can get them in here.
I got a diesel truck back here on fire.
All night, all they could do is try to control their fear.
Wind and the rain was coming straight on in, and I kept waiting for the windows to start exploding in on us. And every time I heard the cracking of a tree and knew it was falling, I was like, oh God, not on the house, not on the house. And I said, have you ever watched Jurassic Park? So that's what it looks like out here, you know?
It looks like New Orleans in other parts of town. The non-stop rain has flooded many other neighborhoods. In Lumberton, as elsewhere in the region, most of the businesses took some damage, but there were a lot of people who seem to have ignored the evacuation warnings, including Helen Jones, who spent the night on the floor of her home covered in pillows.
I could hear those trees falling, but I didn't realize it was this bad.
Texas authorities have an early estimate of the damage here, about $2.5 billion US, and it is certainly not only centered here in Lumberton, it is also in the other area of most devastation, that is Port Arthur, and Global National's Troy Reeb is there tonight. All right, Troy, thanks very much. Global National's Troy Reeb in Port Arthur tonight. In Port Arthur and here in Lumberton as well, as you can see behind me, a lot of power lines down. There is no power in this region since 3 o'clock, and right now about 500,000 people in the Houston area are still without power as well. But that's not the only energy concern tonight. Gas is the other big one. There is no gas for about 200 square kilometers of this part of Texas, and people are returning to that city to discover that. Mike Edgell standing by in Houston tonight. Mike Edgell in Houston tonight. Thanks very much, Mike. Well, Tara, as you can see, they've made some progress here. They've managed to cut through the middle of this tree, but they're moving down because there's probably at least another kilometer or so before this road can be opened, and they don't expect that to happen until at least tomorrow morning. Back to you, Tara.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Kevin Newman in Lumberton, Texas tonight. Well, Rita has lost